Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here. My name is Lynn and today I am going to be making a couple more holiday cards using some of the new Christmas holiday releases from Spellbinders and combining them with some of the older releases, which I think would have been last year, but because I got them when they were on sale, I actually haven't crafted with last year's Spellbinders holiday release. So if you've caught any of my previous videos, you will have seen me use quite a few of them already. This is actually one from I think it was a previous club kit, and so lots of great opportunity to sort of mix and match. And what I found with this, many of the releases, or at least the ones that I chose to work with from this month's release, I picked up a lot of some really basic elements that really can be used every single year. I mean, they're going to be my go-tos every year. So that includes the Glitter Wishes. Has so many sentiments, and what I did, and I'll link to in the upper right hand corner the video where I do all of the glimmer prep work for all of the holiday cards that I created in this release, or using this release, because I just glimmered up a storm and with no plan or idea in mind for cards that I was creating. So often what I was glimmering was just in whatever order was most convenient for me, as opposed to specifically in the order of the projects that I would be filming. And so with the green panel that you see off to the side there, let me just describe how I created that one. So I took the Glitter Wishes set of glimmer sentiments, and I lined them up diagonally on a panel of foil that was cut to, I think, something on the order of like 3.5 by 5, something like that. And so I did try to very intentionally use a single sheet of foil, and I taped the foil down to my card, and I lined up the glimmer plates in that diagonal pattern and just kept on glimmering until I could fill that entire panel of or use up that entire sheet of foil, and then I trimmed, so that gave me the positive of because this was green foil, so that gave me green foiled sentiments onto white cardstock. Then I took the leftover foil, which is what you see here, and I used the solid arch glimmer plate to foil this shape onto this, you know, from the scrap that was left over after I glimmered all of the green sentiments. And I'm loving having the solid shaped glimmer plates, because it does mean you can make full use of all of your foil. You don't have to throw anything away. You may as well just glimmer it and set it aside, even if you don't have specific plans for it. But in this case, I used the arch solid plate, glimmer plate, and then because sold separately, there's a set of nested arch dies that match the curvature and you know, dimension exactly. I was able to cut out my arch and even cut out a red glitter frame to go around it. So it's great to have both, because then you can do exactly what I've done here, where you can just create a nice sort of like a topper element that you can add to your card. And I love all of that sort of glitter or glimmered background of the sentiment, because all of that's foil. And yes, it does take a little bit of time to line everything up. It does mean that you have to run your panel through your glimmer machine and platinum machine multiple times to get just the one panel. But if you have a solid foil or glimmer plate, then you're not just getting one panel for all of your effort, you're getting two. Because remember, this is the negative. So that, at least it may be a lot of effort, but at least I'm getting two panels out of it. And just depending on how you use it, I mean, maybe you could even trim this down. I chose to use it, as much of it as I could, but you could imagine maybe just trimming this down a little bit and using it in other creative ways to get, to stretch it onto even more projects. So I thought that was a fun way to use glimmered sentiments, because then you can use them all and just tile them to your heart's content, and you get so many in the Glitter Wishes set. And so I was really selective, and I chose only the ones that were very specifically holiday, because there are some glimmered sentiments in that set that aren't necessarily for Christmas or the holidays. So if you wanted, you could, and you wanted to include some of those, then it would go by pretty quickly. So instead of maybe it took me, I think, 3 or 4 passes, maybe you could achieve it in 2. So the tree here, I've die cut multiple times out of different specialty cardstock. So I've got some iridescent mirror card, I've got some pearlescent card, and the tree that's going in the foreground is cut from glitter card. And that's pretty much it for that card. I wanted to keep, for all the effort, I wanted to keep as much of that tiled, foiled background as possible. With this panel, I did the exact same thing. This was, the red panel was my first attempt at doing it, and one thing that I would highly advise is when you are passing your glimmer sandwich through your platinum machine to apply that pressure, just run it through the one time. Don't be tempted to roll your plates back and forward. It's better to kind of figure out the right sandwich combination if you're feeling like you don't have enough pressure. Maybe add some paper or cardstock shims to build that up so that you can just pass your glitter or your glimmer sandwich through the one time. Now, in this case, I do have my combination kind of nailed to yield very consistent results. The problem is that I often try to roll my glimmer sandwich through my platinum machine at a bit of an angle, because I do have the larger platinum. I have the A4 platinum, and so I can kind of tilt my glimmer sandwich at a little bit of an angle just to make it a little bit easier to pass through. Just like as if you were die cutting, you just want the rollers to kind of go through your plate at, multiple points, as opposed to kind of hitting a speed bump. And often that will help you to get a better glimmer as well. So I had tilted my sandwich, but I tilted it at too severe of an angle, and by the time I got to kind of the last inch or so, it wasn't going to pass through the opening of my platinum machine. So I had to kind of roll it back, straighten it up, and roll it through again. And in doing so, the glimmer plate must have shifted, or the paper or cardstock must have shifted, and I got a little bit of double foiling on some of the sentiments. Now I'm doing my best to try to cover as much of the boo-boos as I can, but it's better if you just roll it through the one time. And you can see Wishes, I wasn't able to cover that one. There's a little bit of double foiling there, but it's, I think, still very nice effect, and it's a handmade card, so I don't think anybody's going to fault me. But I love the look of it, and even though it's a little bit of time to create those panels, so totally worth it, because I love how it looks, and to have all that shiny foil, I think it's just really lovely. And I like keeping my cards simple when I do use a lot of foiling, because it's the star. I just want to let it shine. Thanks so much for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.